like?
What up guys, it's your boy Zach and today's video is part of my Bleach Explained series. Roll it! So in this episode I'm going to explain to you why did Rukia lose to a Hollow in the first episode of Bleach. Remember Rukia, the one who always had a Shikai, the one who killed an Arankar, the one who beat an Espada? Well...
Boy, if you don't...
Yeah, Rukia was established to be a proficient Soul Reaper. Realistically, this should have never happened to her. Her skills are above normal Soul Reapers. She's top of her class, and close to a lieutenant level at that time. We even discovered later on that she can use her Shikai, a level of soul release that elevates you to fight Menos Hollows. Yet she ended up losing against a low level Hollow. So is the only explanation is that the author forced the situation to happen so that he could kickstart the series? So does this mean this legendary moment is a lie?
That's all believable to me. Along with flying pigs and the tooth fairy!
But wait! What if I told you there's an explanation for this scene in the series? Yes, the show does explain this scene and why Rukia lost. It directly addressed the issue for a brief moment, but it has explanation. But before I show it to you, I want to give you other reasons as to why Rukia lost the fight. Her defeat actually falls down to the fault of one person. No, it's not Aizen, but he does play a major role in Rukia's defeat.
How does he have time for this?
Because I don't know. I get bored sometimes too. It's a thing to do.
It's actually our protagonist, Ichigo Kurosaki.
You flubber trucker!
I'll explain to you why Ichigo is one of the reasons why this happened to Rukia. So let's get started.
And here we go.
Okay, first off, when Rukia met Ichigo in his room, she told him, for a while she can't sense any hollow presence due to unknown reasons. It's like there is a force blocking her senses. She couldn't even hear a hollow scream right next to their house until Ichigo alerted her of their sounds. It's only when Ichigo told her that she started hearing them. And you might be asking, why did this happen? How could Rukia's senses be blocked? Well, the reason why is because Ichigo was the one who blocked her senses with his uncontrollable Ryatsu. For you see, Ichigo's massive spiritual pressure affects everyone around him. It's one of the reasons why many of his friends can see ghosts, cause he forced their senses to open. And it's why one of the reasons why Shada and Orihime unlock their unique powers. But one of the Ryatsu's negative effects is that if you can't control it, you might end up hurting your family and friends without knowing. Spiritual pressure can kill a person if you expose them with a lethal dose of high pressure. Kenpachi's Ryatsu alone made Ichigo pee in his pants. Ganju and Hanataro almost blacked out, and Hanataro almost died just from being a block away from him. Once Kenpachi got too close to Ichigo, all of Ichigo's senses were blocked. He couldn't even hear Ganju and Hanataro's heart breathing behind him. And you can see this with Rukia as well, cause once she got away from Ichigo, she started to feel a massive Ryatsu she never sensed until now. She classified it among the strongest Ryatsu she ever felt. This spiritual pressure she's feeling right now is Ichigo's Ryatsu. Once she got away, she started to feel it. Do you see the similarities between this and Kenpachi's?
No shit.
This even got to the point where he was able to break her Kido. And Rukia is top of her class in Kido, by the way. So basically what happened is, without knowing, Ichigo was crushing Rukia's soul. Her physical stabilities were decreased, her Ryatsu was compressed, and her defenses are vulnerable. Kenpachi states that when two spiritual forces cross paths, the weakest one of the two will end up absorbing all the pain. What this means is that right now Rukia is weak.
Betweer.
We know that Ichigo's spiritual pressure is captain level or higher. Stated by many characters in the series, but solidified by Unohana, who examined Ichigo's Ryatsu and imagined it to be a captain level. And that's before she figured out that his Ryatsu at that point of time was only half of what he got. This is not Ichigo's Ryatsu level right now, but I want to give you a grasp on Ichigo's current Ryatsu. Keep in mind, Rukia has no idea how powerful Ichigo's spiritual pressure is until after he takes her powers away. I can even argue that if she knew, she could have rejected Ichigo's Ryatsu and fought full strength. Too bad she didn't know. Okay, so Ichigo depowered Rukia. Is that a good excuse?
Hell no!
No, that's not everything. This is where Aizen come to play.
As you can see, my beloved subordinate, we have invaders in Waco Mundo. Truly the greatest threat to our politics since me.
You see, Aizen planned for this moment. He planned for Rukia to lose. That's why he specifically sent this Hollow to attack Ichigo's home. He knows Rukia very well. That's why he sent her to do this job. And with the circumstances in hand, she might not be ready for the task. The next reason is a little bit confusing because you need to understand the differences between the anime and the manga. If you think the anime faithfully adapted the manga, then
You failed!
yes, there are many differences between the anime and the manga. Censorship, unadapted chapters, and changes were made in the anime. And there is no better place to look for these changes than episode 1 and chapter 1. There are many differences between how the anime and how the manga did it. For example, Ichigo was carrying a bat, not a chair. The Hollow was carrying Yuzu, not Kari. And when Rukia cut the Hollow's arm to save Ichigo's sister, the Hollow escapes to the river, and while Rukia is distracted after she figured out that the Hollow was looking for Ichigo, the Hollow uses Sonito, the Arankar technique that rivals Shimpo, to show up in front of Rukia and punch her and crush her heart. This scene was cut from the anime, and I think if it was animated, people won't have any reason to complain about.
You serious?
So after Rukia told Ichigo that the Hollow was after him, Ichigo felt responsible for hurting his sisters. So he offers the Hollow his soul so that he can leave. And as the Hollow approached to kill Ichigo, Rukia rushed to save him. And there you have it. That's how Rukia was defeated. But I know what you're thinking. What about Shikai?
Rukia, when you try to save my family, why didn't you do that?
Oh, you know.
No, I don't. Please enlighten me.
Well, you see, Rukia is a skilled Soul Reaper who can take care of any Hollow on her own. She doesn't need her Shikai to do the job. And that's the reason why she didn't use it. If she started with her Shikai, she might end up hurting Ichigo and more importantly, his sisters. Remember what I said about the negative side effects of Ryatsu?
Of course.
She first needs to take him away from this place, a place away from humans, so she can fight full strength. That's why she didn't start with her Shikai. Plus, she didn't get a chance to use it. From saving Ichigo's sister, to Ichigo distracting her, to getting crushed by the Hollow's punch, she didn't get any chance to use it. Soul Reapers have a habit of using their soul release as a last resort. They were taught that way in the academy. This gets brought up several times in the story, and I think the reason why is because their soul release can be destructive. Look at characters like Yamamoto, Toshiro Hitsugaya, and Komamura. That's why Shikai was out of the question when fighting low-class Hollows.
I think you've ever seen.
It's time to stop! It's time to stop, okay?
But if all of this was confusing to you guys, let me show you the panel that directly explained this scene.
Things that could have been brought to my attention yesterday!
So when later we find out that the Hogyoku's true ability is to materialize people's desire, Aizen explained why Rukia lost to the Hollow in the first episode. He says the reason why is because the Hogyoku granted her wish of losing her powers. You see, Rukia felt guilty for killing her mentor Kain Shiba, and deep down she wanted to stop being a Shinigami. That's why Aizen orchestrated this scenario to his favor, giving Ichigo's Shinigami powers and kickstarted the series in the process. And as you can see, the story states that the reason why Rukia lost in episode 1 is because she wanted to lose her powers. And that's why she lost. And with that being said, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.